Hello, I'm Dan Metheny.
And I'm John Gifford.
And this is
Vintage
Nostalgia. What's up?
Welcome to our show, where we talk about all things from the past.
Our three topics today will be the mullet, the skip-it toy, and the Edsel car. First, we will talk about the mullet. Take it away, John.
All right, look, the mullet was started in the early 70s. Three big names were known for wearing the hairstyle. Was David Bowie, Paul McCartney, and Rod Stewart. Paul McCartney being my favorite out of them. In the 1980s and early 90s was when the mullet was most popular. Now, personally, I had a mullet. I'm not proud of it. I've tried to annex these pictures from my history books and my personal records here. But I will tell you that I had a mullet. It was not a mohawk. It was an actual mullet. I had two lines over my left sideburn, and I had a rat tail. How about you, Dan?
That's awesome, dude. I had a mohawk mullet, and I also had the lines in the side of my head, and it was definitely interesting. I mean, it definitely wouldn't be in style today, that's for sure. Especially since it's 2019. It was cool back in 1990, but it's now 2019.
Yeah, but see, I'm not so sure that it's going to stay out of fashion because, to be honest with you, and I travel all over the country, I have seen a lot of Caucasians with afro as of late. Yeah. And, that hasn't been popular since like the 70s. So, there's a possibility for the mullet to come back. When I had the mullet, I had two lines over the sideburns, but I also had a line cut through my left eyebrow.
That's awesome.
Like, I was just completely trashing it up. I mean, it was just ridiculous.
I had a fro at one time, John, and before my hair started thinning out, I could definitely do an afro because I had thick hair, and I used to hate it, and people would make fun of me for it, but now that I'm getting older, I totally miss it, since my hair's thinning out now.
Just that you had thick curly hair, or did you actually have it permed?
I didn't have it permed. This was a natural fro.
Okay, see, these guys are actually doing the perm.
Yeah.
It's too tight. It's too tight to be natural. And it's looking good. I can appreciate it. I can respect the look. It's a solid look. Yeah, it was, 30, 40 years ago. Okay, 40. I'm not going to lie. As a child, I don't think I would have liked the fro. However, as an adult, as my age today, I believe I could definitely appreciate having it.
We all go through phases with our hair, that's for sure. And I've gone through a lot of phases with mine. But back to the mullet, there are some people that still wear it today. There was one celebrity I know that used to wear it, but I saw recent pictures of him on the internet, and the guy's name is Billy Bretherton. He was Billy the Exterminator. He doesn't wear it anymore.
Does he actually count as a celebrity? I know who he is, but does he actually count as a celebrity?
In a way he does, because the show Billy the Exterminator was popular, but it had changed to something else. I forget the name of the show, but he did have a mullet. But I saw recent pictures of him, and his hair on top was longer now. But back when the show was on, he had the mullet. But that's one of the only people that I've seen in the celebrity world that had a mullet.
Well, Billy Ray Cyrus had a mullet.
That's true. He still does have it, I think.
I think he's off and on with it, to be honest with you. I think at times he does it, and then at other times he doesn't, or maybe it's just a wig. All right, now, I'm going to have to go back, and I'm going to have to issue this disclaimer.
Right.
I got stuck watching a show called Hannah Montana because I was babysitting some children. And Billy Ray Cyrus is on this show. He had a mullet during that show. So I'm assuming that this could possibly be a wig, but maybe not. I don't know.
It's a possibility.
However, for his age, he looks pretty good. He's holding up pretty well.
Well, all right. We got the two guys that we know about that have had mullets, and that's Billy Bretherton and Billy Ray Cyrus with the mullet. How do you think it could come back?
Right now, the scumbag boogie, the pop, all those 50s style haircuts. Heck, even the psychobilly weave has really made a comeback. I've actually seen a lot of these haircuts as of late. So when you factor that in, it's only a matter of time before, someone who has a moderate amount of coolness to him is going to rock a mullet, and then all of a sudden, it's going to be back in style. I don't know. Man, maybe if we could get Coolio to do it, I don't know.
I thought about growing it back. As a joke, I thought about it, and I joke around about growing it back, but I never really will, and for obvious reasons.
Yeah, long hair, being a truck driver is just unfeasible for me. And frankly, to be honest with you, the longer your hair gets, when you get to my age and, you're balding on top, it just looks shameful. Just embrace the baldness. I'm not trying to cover it up. Just cut my hair like it wasn't even there.
Well, that's like my hair. It's thinning out pretty bad on top, and, there's like a spot in the back, but, it's getting to be more noticeable when I have hair, so now I just keep it buzzed short.
And really, the short hair, is actually really feasible.
Never fear. We picked a year in the USA. It was 1964. The price of gas was 30 cents a gallon.
The average cost of a new car was $3,500.
The cost of a first-class stamp was 5 cents.
The United States president was Lyndon B. Johnson. Those are
some fun tidbits.
1964.
On to the Skip It. It was introduced in the 1980s based on the 1960s toy called the Lemon Twist. It featured a lemon-shaped weight with a string you would put around your ankle. The Skip It was similar but was plastic. In the 1990s, they introduced the counters on them to see how many times you would skip. Some were glitter-filled, which I never saw. Tiger Electronics discontinued them in 2009. John, I'm sure at your truck stops, you're still skipping around with one of those.
God, to be honest with you, I probably have torn ligaments in my knee from this toy. I remember this, and I had one. I'm going to say I was 10 years old when I got one. It did not have a counter. However, it was blue, and it was just the best thing in the world. And I don't know why, because I can't tell you how many times I twisted my ankle, how many times I twisted my knee, but it was just really, really fun. And probably one of the reasons why I could drink, 2 Jolt Colas and keep going all day.
That's what it's all about. My sister had like a pink one that I played with, and I remember breaking it by accident. And she didn't say anything because she had moved on from the Skip It.
Boys start coming into the picture and stuff. But yeah, the Skip It was actually a nice stroll down memory lane. I remember those very well.
Oh yeah, this memory just came back to me. I remember as I got older, I went to a garage sale, and I think, this was in Maryland. And I was at a yard sale, and I was playing with one. I forget what color it was. It was either a blue one or a yellow one. And I was skipping around with it, and I ended up stepping on it by accident. And I had to pay for it. Yeah.
I remember playing with them. I remember, other kids in the neighborhood having them. That time period, I lived in Visalia, California. So every third house had, family of kids. I mean, they were just everywhere. And, we just like to have, competition so you could do more until, a kid fell out, basically.
That's funny.
Yeah, and it went to the point where you're drinking that hot water out of that hose, and it was just ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. It was such a different time back then.
They were all like the fluorescent 80s rad surfer kind of colors. The marketing on those was great. They really were.
It was a unique toy. People would get motivation from using it for exercise, which you just mentioned. One idea I think comes from it would be apps that people now use for their smartphones that count how many steps you would use or how many miles you walk. I wonder if that idea came from Skip It. What do you think?
In all seriousness, there's a good chance that it did. What was that one thing that was real popular as of late? Was that Pokemon Go? That got people, walking around, but it was also counting steps and stuff like that. And all that stuff kind of tied together, I bet. My mother refers to this toy, she still actually has mine, and she refers to it as my third broken arm. Yeah, I was on a slab concrete in the back, hopping on it, just got it, hopping on it. Yeah, broke my arm. Yeah, it was not pleasant. And that toy got put up. It was never played with again. But it very well could be that the counters and stuff like that actually help contribute to photometers.
All right. Fun. We are having a fun time today on Vintage Nostalgia. We are taking a break, and we'll be back.
And now a message from our sponsor. Ladies, tired of drying your hair with the same old vacuum cleaner? Try Avon Shade brand new Beauty Locks portable hair dryer. It's smaller, it's faster, it's guaranteed to give you the hair you've always wanted in half the time. Beauty Locks is delicate and dainty, just like you. The dryer weighs only a pound and easily fits in your hand. Now that's beauty and convenience. With a speedy motor that will dry your hair in as little as 25 minutes, you can get gorgeous hair without falling behind schedule. Don't worry about the little ones or that pie in the oven. Thanks to an extra-long extension cord, you can move around while primping your locks. Forget those long trips to the salon and no more waiting for hours under monster machines. Avanche gives you an easy and speedy hairdo that will blow your man away. Get it now at your nearest Macy's.
We're back, and I'm John Gifford.
I'm Dan Metheny, and this is Vintage Nostalgia. Let's talk about a car called the Edsel, made from 1958 until 1960. Edsel was a division of Ford. The cars were either made in Ford plants or Mercury plants. The car never had its own factory, hence the many opinions I have heard from others on why it failed as a car and was only produced for 2 years. It was a unique looking car, that's for sure. I've only seen a few in person.
Okay, I am familiar with the Edsel to a certain extent because my mother had an Edsel Corsair before I was born. And I've seen pictures of it in like her photo albums and stuff. And then I have seen an Edsel in a truck stop in New Mexico up on I-40 called Russell's. These are my only two real experiences with the Edsel. I've heard a lot about it as far as a lot of people have literally said because it never had dedicated a plant, it never really was able to get off the ground. Because when you're sharing a production line with a pickup truck, and they only make 2 pickup trucks, those pickup trucks are really important when there's 20 other models of cars that are made.
Yeah, and during that time, there was a lot going on with Ford and Mercury and stuff. They were all starting to be different divisions under one company. There was a lot of change going on around that time. So Edsel kind of fell short because there was just too much going on, I feel like. But I feel like it could have been a great car.
America had a lot going on. And Ford, even though they weren't making Jeeps and stuff like that, they were contracting other products out to the government. If you think back to like Indiana Jones, I know that's in number 2, but they had a lot of Fords in there that were contracted to the government and stuff like that. That time period was doing a lot more contracts with the government. They have since backed off with that, but at one time they were heavily into contract, even though they have no interest in it today.
Well, I do like how the front end on the early models look. Also, what I read was that in 1958, there were mechanical problems, which is why people didn't want them after that. So they had left a bad impression. The Edsel models were the Edsel Citation, the Edsel Corsair, which you talked about, Edsel Pacer, Edsel Ranger, Edsel Bermuda, Edsel Villager, and the Edsel Roundup. Which models I've only seen is the basic models. Since there were so many of them, I couldn't tell you which Edsel I saw, to be honest.
Well, because we're talking about it, I Googled the images on this. And I can tell you, from me personally, I'd be digging on the Pacer. Would be the one that I would have to go for.
I'd probably have to arrange a mechanic or someone who could fix a whole car to put the whole dream car together where everything mechanically would be sound in the car. Which means it would be only...
much simpler to work on back then.
Yeah. Well, for me, basically, it would be just the car frame and everything else would be different.
Right. That's 2,000 pounds of Detroit's finest steel right there. It's just a frame.
Basically. Yeah, I was just turned on by the frame.
Wow, that is something right there. We're saying that you're a headlights kind of guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I am absolutely a headlights kind of guy.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, but there's a nice trunk is okay too. Just saying.
Absolutely.
Oh
no! The end is near.
The end is near.
But we chose another year.
Another year in the USA.
USA! It was 1939. The average price of a new home cost $3,850.
The price of movie tickets was 25 cents a piece.
The price of coffee was 40 cents a pound.
The United States President was Franklin D. Roosevelt. Those are
some fun tidbits
of 1939.
Thanks everyone for joining us today on Vintage Nostalgia.
Be sure to tune in next time.
And this is a J. Giff DM production. This is Dan.
And John.
Signing off.